Hello, I'm Diane Hires, the chair of the Joseph Jefferson Awards Committee, here with Michael Shannon, stage, screen, and television actor. Thanks, Michael, for agreeing to announce the 2015 Joseph Jefferson Awards.
No problem.
The nominations. The Chicago theater community is very proud to call you its own. What role has it played in your career, and how has it helped set you apart as an actor?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that I wouldn't have any sort of, film or TV career without the work that I did here first. I mean, when I started acting here, however long ago that was, almost 25 years ago, I was totally raw. I had no, I mumbled. You could barely hear what I was saying. And through working with a bunch of people I consider to be now, legendary Chicago types, they taught me what I needed to know. It kind of rubbed off on me. Meeting people like Tracy Letts early on in my career, Dexter Bullard, Guy Van Swearingen. Obviously, that relationship's meant a lot to me over the years. Just a lot of talented people. It's helped to cultivate whatever I've come up with. Yeah.
A number of stage roles have helped define your career.
Yeah.
What roles have helped define your craft?
Oh, it's an interesting question. Well, I think the first time that I moved to a larger stage, that was a huge learning experience. For a long time, I was used to working in very small, intimate theaters. So the first time I worked, for example, at Steppenwolf, it really opened my eyes to a lot of things that I didn't have to necessarily worry about in a smaller space. And it kind of felt impossible to me. But because I kept getting those opportunities, I was able to develop and get used to it.
You're known for playing very scary but very human villains. Can you talk about what it is you look for in these kinds of characters and how you bring them to life?
Well, I think anybody's behavior is dictated by, where they come from, how they were raised, and what the challenges that they're dealing with in their life. I think it's kind of an actor's responsibility to be empathetic to people in general, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with their behavior. It's kind of the function of acting is to deepen human understanding. So I honestly, mostly I try and look for stories that I think have some significance in terms of illuminating how maybe better to live your life. And maybe some of these characters are an example of the traps you can fall into along the way.
Collaboration is very important in the theater making process, but especially here in Chicago.
Mm.
What have you learned about being a good collaborator from your many artistic partnerships?
Well, it's a beautiful thing because I'm still a part of a Red Orchid, and it means so much to me. I'm currently rehearsing a play right now, and I'm in the room with working with the director I've never had the opportunity to work with before, Shade Murray, and I'm just constantly astounded by his observations and how rigorous he is with his own work and with the writing and with us. And a lot of times if you're on a film set or a TV set, you're kind of left to your own devices. It's kind of assumed that you know what you're going to do, and you don't really need much prodding. But it's really invigorating to get that scrutiny in an environment where you feel comfortable and you trust the people that you're with. So it's very valuable to me.
Like coming home.
Yeah, exactly.
You were lucky enough to star with your wife, Kate Arrington, in Grace on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn about each other in that process?
It's such an interesting thing because in that play, our characters start out as strangers, and it's very hard to be out on stage with someone that you've spent that much time with and had children with, and just act like you don't know them from Adam. So it was a real kind of head trip, you know. But it was also there was something romantic about it because the characters throughout the course of the play fall in love, and it is also something a little strange about doing that in front of a lot of people, you know, however many people that theater held. But yeah, it's I don't know. It was an interesting opportunity. I'll say that. You know.
Which of your characters would you least like to run into in a dark alley?
Characters. There's so many characters. Oh, probably the guy I played in Kangaroo Jack. He was pretty mean. Frankie Lombardo. He was a real bruiser. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, unfortunately, because I've played the characters, I know enough about them to probably talk them out of doing me any harm.
How do you prepare for a role?
Wow, it's different. It comes down to different things depending on the project. You know, preparing for a show at Red Orchid is very different from preparing to play the Iceman. You know.
What about television where there's not so much direction in
Oh
front?
yeah. Well, yeah, that you really got to kind of think on your feet. You know, television is very much driven by the writing. It's a writer's medium, so you get most of your cues from what they're giving you, and it's also very kind of mechanical. The way the storytelling is, you can kind of hear the gears turning a little bit. With film, it's a little more, can be a little bit more abstract or free form. But you know, if you're preparing to play like a real person, you spend a lot of time studying that person. I just played Elvis fairly recently, and so I just spent a lot of time watching Elvis, you know, and crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. But I don't know. I feel like most of what happens is so spontaneous, even with something scripted. I mean, I've done improv over the years, and I think that in a way that's kind of the best training for acting. Even though when you're acting, you usually have a script, but it just teaches you to be in the moment, pay attention. You're
a singer too, right?
Yeah, a wee bit. I mean, I haven't done any musicals yet, but I've been playing music since I was a little boy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So. What surprised you in your delving into Elvis?
I think probably the biggest surprise was how intelligent he was. I mean, I think he's commonly perceived as kind of maybe what he was really good at, what he was good at, but maybe he didn't really know much of anything else, which couldn't be further from the truth. He was very well read and very concerned and curious about the world and spirituality and things like that. And you know, I found that a really intriguing aspect of him. Yeah.
Well, we find you intriguing.
Oh, thank you.
And we're glad you enjoy a Red Orchid because we love to see you come back home.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'll keep coming back as long as they'll have me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.